So how is he different?
He's more loving, more affectionate. He wants to see me practically all the time. He will message me multiple times if I don't reply. And then it's like when I do reply, he'll be like, oh, there she is. Hello, can
Hi,
you hear me?
Krystal.
Hi.
Yes, darling. How are you?
I'm all great. Hang on.
How lovely to finally
My
meet you,
earphones are playing
darling.
up. Hang on.
Don't worry. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I've taken them out now.
No, we can hear you fine, darling. How are you?
I'm shaking.
Oh, don't be shaking. We love seeing your stories and all your comments in the squad. How are you, darling?
I'm brilliant. Oh, yeah.
How
Sorry.
long have you been in the squad? How long?
I think it's been like 2 years. I mean,
Hey.
yeah, so it's been quite a while, and wow, a long time.
And when did you first discover me, do you think?
It was actually, I think it was like October 2022. Actually,
Right.
I I fell down a rabbit hole of law of attraction. And then obviously one day I go on TikTok and there's this shouty blonde lady screaming her head off. And I'm like, what the fuck is her deal?
Oh, the cat's joining us. Yes. And then eventually you joined the squad, and you've done a few of the courses as well, haven't you?
I've done, well, practically everyone within the squad.
Yep.
And I've done Waffle and Kick-Ass You. And I think, yeah, I think that's it.
So Waffle, guys, for those of you who don't know, is Worthy as Fuck for Love, which is like the advanced love course where you get assessed. Okay. So Krystal's done both of the courses with assessments. So she should really know, because of those assessments, what her self-concept issues are. So she really knew what to fix. Kat, what are you fucking doing? Jesus, she really wants to be on camera. Sorry, Krystal.
I do need to show you something though, Loz.
What does it say? Waffle?
Yeah.
Oh, how lovely.
I actually got it tattooed on me.
Love. Oh, hooray.
And I'm adding to it next week as well. So, yeah.
So what did you mainly learn in that course, particularly about yourself?
Well, I've done the, obviously, Kick-Ass You, but with Waffle, because I had so many stories in love, that I knew there was something else. Right. I just knew. So I bought it, and it actually unearthed a lot more for me.
Right. Yes. And do you think that now you notice those stories, if they come up again, you're aware of them?
100%.
Right.
I always know what stories at play. I mean, when something happens, I can always look back and I know how I caused it.
Right. And that's the genius of it. When you understand this, you're like, hang on, I can't get angry. I know how I caused that.
Yep.
So you've got to that place. That's great. So tell us a bit about some of the successes you've had. What do you want to start with?
Oh, gosh. Where do I begin? There's too many.
There's so many. Yeah, there's so many. That you've had health success, love success, all kinds of success, darling.
Yeah, well, it's like, obviously, my main one is my self-concept, because obviously it's like self-concept to me. Do you know those the brain test you have where it's got the teapot, you got all these pipes that are coming down into little teacups?
Yes.
And it says like what one feels first. For me, that's success is the teapot, self-concept, sorry. And it all flows into like career, love, and
sorry, I've got to get my dog. She's crying. She's crying, Krystal, throughout your entire interview. Trying to get down the staircase. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, darling. Yes, keep going.
And so there's self-concepts that I haven't directly worked on, but they've improved because of the self-concept.
Right. And so what do you think your biggest self-concept issues were that you've uncovered over this time being in the squad, doing the courses? Like, what was your main stuff, do you think?
Abandonment, 100%.
Abandonment. And is that a story from childhood where you got actually physically abandoned, or?
I spent like the first 10 years of my life in and out of care. And I had several people coming in and out, like stepdads. And it
Right.
wasn't like until I was 4 that my dad came in, and I didn't actually realise that until I'd done the course. That was also part of the abandonment.
Right.
And so being in and out of foster care from pillar to post, that really like resonated in that abandonment.
Yeah. It's a natural, absolute straight away thing that would happen to you if you were fostered. It just naturally would happen because you're thinking, why have I been left? So you're going to and especially when you're a child and you've gone from this family to this family to this family, you eventually would start thinking, well, when's this going to end with this family? Because eventually I'll have to leave here and go somewhere else, and leave here and go somewhere else. And so whenever in adulthood you were in any kind of family situation or love situation or relationship of any kind, your brain would be like waiting for the other shoe to drop when that's all going to end. Wouldn't it?
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
It's just a natural way you would think. It's like obvious that you would think that way because of what happened to you.
Yep. And that was just quite eye-opening. There was other ones, obviously, but I didn't realise just what I thought, like, because my mum was a narcissist, and so I did get abused. And I know with Kick Ass You, it kicked my ass, all right?
Right.
And there was one part in the course where I thought all the trauma from my mum had, it didn't rule me anymore.
Right.
But it was like on one of them, it was like automatic writing. It just zoned out, and I was writing and writing and writing. And I remember like kind of waking up to writing, but I deserved this, didn't I? And I'm like, no, I fucking didn't.
Right. Yes.
And all that writing was like 3 or 4 A4 pages back to back.
Right.
And I sobbed. And that was just such an eye-opener for me.
Right. A lot of people can't get through that course at first because you have to face your childhood in that course. A lot of people either would write to me when I first brought it out and say, oh, I don't think it's working for me. And I'd say, you didn't do the childhood section, did you? And they go, a couple of people did this. I'm not saying everyone did this, but I had 1 or 2 people. And they had to admit they couldn't even write the stuff down. So then when they wrote it down, then they're like, and I'm like, well, write it down. So the fact that you wrote all that stuff and you got it out, sometimes you actually have to get it on paper and see, oh my God, is this in my mind? Like, do I have a story? I must have deserved it. Like, do I actually think this? And sometimes until you write it down in a course, you don't even realize you'd be shook that you even thought that way, but you did.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, sorry, I've just forgotten what I was going to say.
So then when you moved on to, you're going to say about Kick Ass You. And so then once you had those discoveries about all the things that were in your mind in Kick Ass You, you thought, okay, now I need to really delve into the love stuff as well. Because what was coming up for you in love, in relationships in your past? What kind of issues?
Obviously abandonment, rejection. I mean, my ex-husband, I would always question him, why he's with me, why he even likes me. You know, you can go and find better, just constantly. And he's just like, And I realise now, and even talking to him, it's like, that was playing. Because I thought I was going to be rejected, even though I was married, because of the abandonment, I was trying to push him away. And I would do things unconsciously to try and push him away.
Right. So even when you were married and a person had stood at an altar and committed to you, you were still doing it. Right.
I was still doubting it and just questioning
waiting
him.
for the other shoe to drop, waiting for them to leave. Right. Just checking, when are you going to leave? Because you will. Just give me a ballpark, because I know you're not going to hang around. That's kind of what you're doing.
Yep. Exactly that.
And so how do you think you think now when those things come up? Like, what kind of stuff do you now say to yourself? Like, okay, what you were thinking, so what do you now put in place now that you know those thoughts you had, like, I don't deserve you, or why would you even want me, or what do you do now when that stuff still comes up?
I recognize it, and it's like, no, that's the old story, that's not real. And it's like, I will say, affirm, not manically, but like, no, of course they love me, why wouldn't they be around me? You know, they love being in my presence and things like that.
Great.
So it's like drowning out the old.
Drowning out. And do you think you're aware of that now at the time, like when it comes up?
Yeah, a lot more.
A lot
Yeah.
more. Sometimes it's hard too.
Yeah, I mean, I've manifested stuff that I didn't consciously know, but when it's come up, I've known exactly where it's come from.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why'd you do that for?
Right. Yeah. Oh, that still happens to me. And then I'm like, oh, you did that, you idiot. You know what I mean? So shit still happens, guys. It's just how we deal with it, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Yep, 100%.
Mm-hmm. And so how has that then manifested itself, learning all this with your specific person? Or what was the story there? Tell us the story.
Well, I met him like 4 years ago. I mean, this guy, he freaking amazing, but I would get so, because of all the stories playing up, you know, I would hound him. If he didn't reply back in like 5 minutes, I'd be like, and like messaging over and over, like multiple messages. And he didn't like react. He's one of these that would just go over his head.
Right.
But it was like, it got to like 9 months in. And that's when I realised I can't keep doing this.
Right.
I can't keep destroying this person who is accepting of me, who is loving me.
Right.
And the things, I mean, his love language is different. You know, he wouldn't say that he loves me and things like that, but he would show me. But because of my self-concept, I didn't see the actions. I wanted the verbal, I wanted the I love yous. I wanted him to message me saying how much he liked me and things. And I would even say, oh, do you still like me? And I'm like, looking back, that's so cringe.
But no, but you don't even realize you're doing it sometimes. Like,
no,
you'll feel cringe now, but when you're even doing it, you're thinking it's a logical thing to do.
exactly. And I feel embarrassed by how I was acting, but I understand how. And now obviously we're back, you know, and him seeing the change in me, and he's actually commented on that. Just makes, like I'm a completely different person.
Right. And so what don't you do now that you were doing before?
I mean, we can go days without messaging. I'm fine with that. Because, you know, to me, it's like when you see on like social media when people are like, you're my love, you're my life, you're my world. And it's like, he's not my love, he's not my life, he's not my world, he's an extension of it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So if that makes sense. So it's like I prioritize myself, plus we've also got priorities ourselves, like kids and work. And so I'm a lot more relaxed.
Sorry, I've got a dog and cat fight happening here. Sorry. You're right. She was told at the dog's ear and she was like pulling. I'm like, oh gosh, her alone. Sorry. Sorry. So you have your own priorities like your kids. Yeah.
And so it doesn't bother me, you know, even if he if I message him like a question and he doesn't reply back, it's fine, because and the perception on that has changed, because sometimes I will forget to message people back. It's not because I don't care or anything like that, it's because I get distracted or I haven't got the energy to message them. And so the whole perception has changed, and so that has also changed us, because I'm not continuously messaging him and hounding him.
Right. And so what happened? So you split up and then got back together?
Yeah, he did say, because he even said to me, when I don't think we can even be friends. And that was at the beginning of the journey. I'm like, okay. And there was obviously a third party, which I know how I manifested looking back. But that gave me a chance to really like step back and work on myself, which was what I needed.
Good.
And then he came back, but because I then got my manifestation, I didn't upkeep with my self-concept, did I?
The amount of times that happens.
I know. And when things started going a bit awry, and I'm like, oh gosh, but I knew. And so he went back, so we stopped talking again. But because I'd known where I went wrong, I could change it. And I did.
Good. And then what, he came back again?
Yeah. But it's like he's had a personality bypass. You know, I look at him and it's the same features and everything, but he's completely different. He's done like a full 180.
So how is he different?
He's more loving, more affectionate. He wants to see me practically all the time. He will message me multiple times if I don't reply. And then it's like when I do reply, he'll be like, oh, there she is, and really excited. You know, he wants to get my attention if we're not seeing each other. But when we do see each other, you know, we'll go out on dates. it's just weird, you know, he'll just like grab me and pull like me towards him. It's just,
lovely.
and he's more understanding as well. And it's just so nice just to have that, it just feel different around him and not be so clingy.
And so when you were talking before about the awareness you had about the behaviors you were displaying with him and the thinking you were having, what is the real just self-concept stuff about yourself that you think you worked on? Like minus him, minus the love situation, like just the core self-concept stuff you did. Like what did you actually do?
My core was abandonment and chosen. That was the two big ones. But it's quite funny because it's like when I did the assessment on Kick Ass You, my mind was like, no, you don't need abandonment. Of course you don't. You need this instead. You know, that's just a load of bollocks. But when I actually done the abandonment sleep tape, wow, just, so I knew that I needed that alongside chosen. And there's like quite a few others like rejection and doing things wrong. And so as soon as I started working on them, obviously they still do creep up. That's when even everything in my life just changed.
Right. Great. Because this is the thing, your success stories are of everything. Like, it's not like you've just gone, I got my SP back. It's like health and weight and appearance and everything. And it's like, so what people don't seem to understand sometimes is, yes, of course we do this a lot of the time, this focus on self-concept for love, but it does improve all areas of your life because it's you're improving. So tell us a bit more about some of the other things that have this self-concept has helped with in your life, like other areas of your life.
I have financial freedom now. I actually have disposable income.
Wow.
To the point, you know, I can pay for concerts. I mean, I've got another 2 concerts this year that I've paid outright for. You know, I can go on trips with my daughter. If my daughter needs something.
How do you think that money situation improved? How did it improve? What were you thinking differently about money?
I think it was like self-concept, but I always think, you know, it doesn't matter. I've always got money, and I do actually. You know, I can go the whole month with money now, whereas before it would be the first week and it's gone, and then I'd have like 3 weeks of like nothing.
The money would abandon you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Right.
Never thought it'd be like that.
Yeah. So then once you fixed all those things, it's like it stuck around.
Yeah. And it's like, even like with that, I can I can pay for extra tuition for my daughter, which is beneficial to her as well, because she's got all these goals and dreams. And that's another thing I manifested. I manifested her getting into a top performing arts academy as well, thanks to your NIDA story.
Oh, I remember reading that. That's lovely. Oh, how nice. Yeah. And what were you doing, imagining her at the school?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't at first, but when obviously from the story, she was recommended, and I did sign her up, and it was taking ages, and then I just I remembered your NIDA story, so it's like and I just sat there and I imagined her in a uniform on stage, her telling me about it, and I think it was about 6 weeks later I got the email to say that she's got a placement.
Oh, how wonderful! But she's thrilled.
She loves
that's so nice.
it. Yeah.
And that's the thing, you can do this for other people because it's coming from you. It's your reality. I manifest.
Yep, and I do that a lot
all the time. Yeah.
It's not easier per se. It's because you have less resistance, but then you can just manifest it and like let it go, kind of, so to speak.
Yep. And so, what else? What about health stuff and appearance stuff?
Well, I've manifested. Oh gosh, there's quite a bit actually. I had a bad leg. It would swell up and it would hurt, and the pain was excruciating to the point that I would need opioids just to feel comfortable.
God. Yeah.
I don't like doctors, but I did go to the doctor and I had an MRI, and they found like a cyst in my knee. And it's like, do you know what? No, this isn't happening. My knee is fine, even like through the pain. That it's like I can walk brilliantly. Look, my leg's pain free, and I just persevered with that. And over time, it would become less and less of me taking these tablets, and it got a lot better.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's good.
And
so, like what else? And what were you gonna say? Your skin?
Yeah, my skin. I had eczema on one hand, which would flare up. Because obviously, I work in a care home, so washing your hands all the time. and it's like I've got a bit of rosacea, and that's clearing up as well now.
Wow.
And it's not just like that as well, but it's like I was diagnosed with anxiety, depression, PTSD. I now no longer have them because I never had them anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I never had PTSD, but I had
Yeah.
all those other things. And yeah, and you just think now, you think, who was that girl who had that stuff? That's not me.
Yeah. I don't recognise myself, to be honest. I look back and I'm like, it's a completely different way of thinking, and it's crazy when you think about it.
And so that those actions you were taking before, that over texting and all that stuff, and that asking and that validation, that is that kind of state of anxiety. And people think, oh, well, that's just the way I am, I've got anxiety. But it's like when you uncover where that thinking, the core of that thinking was even coming from, and as soon as you stop that core thinking, all that anxious action or anxiety goes away. And then people will be like, oh, I no longer take my anxiety pills, I don't know what happened. Yeah, because the core thing that was causing you to take all those actions or think that way or feel that way has completely gone. So you don't feel like that anymore. And it feels kind of miraculous. But like, I used to be so anxious. So now I'm like, I remember that girl. I kind of can't remember what it felt like, but it felt really bad.
Yeah. I used to walk on eggshells, but now I know where that's come from. I'm no longer like that. You know, I mean, I went to London. Beforehand, London was like, oh, no, I can't go to London. It's too busy. I can't. No. Well, I actually went to London, and I went to all the busy markets, you know, Camden.
Yep. That's right.
And I was absolutely fine. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Well,
but I went there and
it was a bit of a fucking shithole.
well, yeah. I think we can say that for everything. But even like I went to
area. Like, if you don't like
it was very
crowds
busy.
and stuff, you don't want to go there. Yeah.
No. But I even went to see Phantom of the Opera, which I've wanted to do for years. But because one, it's London and it's theatre, I couldn't.
Yeah.
But now I have.
Yeah. How beautiful. And whereabouts are you then in the UK?
I'm in Kent.
Oh, you're in
Southeast.
Kent.
Is it southeast? No. Yeah. Northeast.
My parents lived in London. My parents lived in London in the 70s, and they went to Kent and met someone who'd never been to London in his whole life, and he was in his late 70s. And he was like, what's London like? And they were like, what's London like? It's just up there. Haven't you gone? I couldn't get over it.
We actually have a lot more people from London coming down towards Kent. Yeah, now.
Yeah. Yeah. I've only been there once, but it was delightful when I was there. And so now, what do you think you're working on now? Like, are there other areas that you want to work on that you haven't kind of succeeded at yet, or are you feeling
there is a few more things in the bag, but I'm just maintaining my self-concept. But I was also thinking, like yesterday, when you first start this self-concept like journey, when I first started, I would affirm, and I was actually called out in your group, obviously lovingly, for vain affirming. But now, because I'm like 2.5 years in, I affirm, but not like obsessively.
Right. So, and that's the difference. When people ask me, for what's the manifestation routine you do, I go, I don't do one. But, you know, like back in the day when I first started, of course I did, because I really needed to brainwash myself. I needed it. But when you start to get to know your thinking and your awareness gets a lot stronger, you don't have to do it anymore or as much. And you will only do it when needed or, you know, when there's a crisis or whatever. And so a lot of people don't understand it. Like, oh, well, I won't have to do this forever. And that's why I don't really like that vain affirming and stuff, because that's not sustainable for the rest of your life.
No.
You just can't. You can't possibly.
Yeah. But even now, it becomes as natural as breathing. Like your brain will just go, oh, you're beautiful. And it's like, oh, look in the mirror. I used to hate every single part of myself. I'd avoid mirrors like the plague.
Right, so did I. Yeah.
And now I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, you sexy bitch. Look at that tushy, you know.
Right.
And it's like, I will love every inch.
Oh, that's lovely. And did you say a lot of stuff about your body when you were working on your self-concept or your appearance?
Yeah. Yeah. Because that was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
I would just like, I would look at like my bum, because it's like I am a plus size girl and I love it, to be honest.
Yeah.
and that's also reflected that love of myself now, of my curves.
Yeah.
But I would look at like my bum and my tummy and things, and it's like I love it, and I was just like, oh, look at, but it's weird because before this, obviously working in care, I used to joke, oh, let me just squish my big ass in, kind of thing. And even my
Right.
residents like, why do you keep putting yourself down? And I'm like, oh, but I'm joking. And then this, like, they would kind of look at me like it's not fun, kind of thing. Not
Right.
that I was affecting them, but they would see like that was trying to cover, I was trying to mask. But now it's like
Exactly.
I don't get that. And even like to the point I'm complimenting on how much I big myself up, and it's like because there's nothing wrong with having a good self-concept.
Right. That's right. And that's lovely. And that's the thing. Sometimes you had to have people point it out to you, but even then you were like, oh,
Yeah.
what's wrong with what I'm saying? But now when your self-concept's improved, you're like, I wouldn't even talk to myself like that.
And I can't believe I used to put myself down. And it's like, even like my ex-husband and even my dad used to tell me, I hope one day you see yourself through my eyes. And obviously he's not here anymore. And like looking back, and it's like, I do see myself through your eyes now. And I understand that. And it's like my ex-husband, because we get on better now than we, even when we was married. And we were, when I first started this, we was arguing endlessly. We hated each other. But now we're closer. We're like best friends again.
And how do
he would
you think that
say,
happened?
just my self-concept. And I actually changed the story. Whenever we was arguing, I would just see him that we're best friends again, that we're getting on well, especially because we co-parent. And there's actually quite a few people that I've changed the story with, and they've reflected it.
Right. Sorry, I interrupted you. You were about to say something about him and you getting along.
Oh, yeah, because he always used to big me up, and he's like, why can't you just see what I see? And then now he's like, you was always like that. I always saw you like that. But he realizes I had to see myself as that. He couldn't push it on me.
Right. That's lovely. And that's the thing. Sometimes you can look back and go, oh, they loved me all along. I didn't see it.
Yeah. And I mean, he even now, I mean, he worships the ground I walk on. We're not together anymore, but he would do anything for me. I've called him up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I've woken him up, and he's come and helped me because my car's broken down.
Oh,
So,
that's
you know, and I've also found that with other like males that they're quite drawn to me. And I know from one of your subliminals, your mesmerizing like subliminal, I had someone who wouldn't even talk to me. I wasn't even there. As soon like after playing that subliminal, he actually makes communication now, and it's like he lights up when he sees me. Of course.
Right. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Now, Krystal, would you be happy to let people ask you some questions?
Yeah.
Oh,
go for it.
Let's go down to the questions. Hang on, I'm seeing a lot of lovely comments here. People writing, or, hang on, watching, Cat McPherson's watching, what else is here? Me too, I knew that accent in Rochester. She knew your accent. Hang on.
To watch this a few times.
Oh, hang on. All I'm seeing is Cat McPherson's watching. Yes, the night is story. Okay, Cat's saying that. Why can't I see any more questions? What the hell? Hang on.
I was going to say as well, because it's like I used to go to church and I never understood the Bible. And my daughter wanted to go again, so obviously I've go to support her. And I went the other week, and I actually ended up crying in church because there was worshiping, and one of the songs said, "The Great I Am," and I'm like, yes. And they were just talking, and there's just so much coming up that I understand now from and it's like there was a Bible verse, Isaiah 43 verse 18 and 19, and it says about don't look in the past because God has a new story for you. And that was, I think at the time I was looking back in hindsight at the 3D, and then I just realized actually no, I'm weaving that story. So don't look back there, it's the front. Like when you drive, you look in the rear view mirror briefly, but the main focus is the windscreen.
There's so much in the Bible about not looking back and turning into a pillar of salt if you do and all that stuff. There's so much of it. And it's like, it's telling you constantly, like, it's irrelevant. Like, don't do that. Don't do it, you know.
No.
And if it's saying God has a new story for you, it's like, well, I'm God. I've got a new story for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oh, that's so lovely. But
It's
the great
powerful.
I am, I love that. Yeah, you've got to remember that they say that. And so they're not going the great God. They're saying the great I am. Oh,
Yeah,
I
and
am great.
it
Oh,
states
I am
that
the
in the
great I
Bible.
am.
Yeah. Even when God was speaking to Moses, he was saying, "My name is I am," and
Right. He didn't
that
go,
was so.
my name's
Yeah,
John, my name's God, my name's, Barry. He was going, my name's I am. And Moses must be like, what?
yeah.
What do you mean? I know. Or it goes, I am that I am. If you think of it, if you say it a different way, you go, I am that I am. I am that I am. I
Yeah.
am that I am.
It makes so much sense.
That makes so much sense. And I used to be that person in like RE class at school, be like, but hang on, what? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And the teacher would be like, yes, it does, Lauren, blah, blah, blah. We used to have this American teacher called Mr. Neville. Funny, his name was Neville. And someone pointed that out once in my life. And I used to question. I never got, I'm like, but hang on. And now everything in it that I hear, every now and again I hear people quote and go, I know what that means.
Yep.
I know what that
I'm
means.
like,
I get it. Yeah, exactly.
it's like
And I was never
even with
religious.
Neville. Even with Neville, I struggled to understand him. But then when I did the course, the Neville Made Easy course, I now understand him so easily because of that. And understand it. Yeah, it made it click. And
We
it's like,
had
even
to
like
do
all
that
your
course
courses.
because I think so many people were having trouble listening to him. And I thought,
Yeah.
look, unless we simplify it, and I keep saying to you guys, go and listen to Neville. You're all like, I can't sit through this. So when we did that course, it was more about, we knew a lot of people wouldn't even bother because it was just too hard basket.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read the questions, Krystal, from my computer because I can actually see them here. So can you share the process you use for changing the story with your ex? I would love to have a close, friendly relationship with mine.
For me, I just went within, and I love to visualize more than anything. And so even like when we were messaging and it was like horrible, or we'd see each other, I would completely just ignore what was going on, and I'd go within and I'd see us, talking and going out and having family days and everything. I just every time just go in to the 4D, and that soon reflected out.
So when you say, so anyone who doesn't understand what you mean by that, what do you mean? You went into the 4D and what? What do you mean? You went in your mind.
I went into my mind and I would visualize anything that I wanted, like me and him talking nicely, laughing together, going out on like family days and just getting on,
instead of what was actually happening.
Yeah, instead of the arguments and everything like that. It would just, I always go within because that's where it matters.
What made you not want to be back with him romantically?
It's because, well, no, to be honest, I mean, he's everything I would want in a partner, but I don't have romantic feelings for him. And if I was to go back there, it wouldn't be fair on either of us. But I'm grateful for the relationship that we do have.
I've got plenty of exes like that. Love them, don't want you. Like, and they've changed and they're wonderful to me, but I don't want to be in there. Okay. Krystal, how did you keep yourself accountable in the beginning, catching those thoughts that you didn't even know you were having? I find a lot of the time I'm not aware of what I'm thinking due to mental taxing job. How did you keep yourself accountable?
I would try to be aware of what was happening, what I was thinking, and when you get things in your head, you flip it. You try and think of something else or affirm over it. Like if you're thinking, oh, this is horrible, this is useless, you're just you then kind of can't think of the word. Yeah, you flip it. So then you'll find something. I always found something about me that I liked, and the more I did it, the more I liked about more stuff I found. Oh, sorry. The more stuff that I found about myself that I just kept saying.
Did you stick to the same affirmations or did you switch and change it?
I did have basic, when I first started, I had basic affirmations. But then as I discovered the stories that I held, I did switch them up to hit that. But it's like with my chosen one, I am chosen just didn't feel right to me, so I zhuzhed it up a bit, and it's like, of course I am the chosen one, in like a Star Wars kind of way.
Right. Yeah.
And so you find something that's going to hit you.
Right.
And so
you have to
it
do
would
that, guys,
switch.
because you can't just talk like I talk. Like I might give you words or ways to say things you wouldn't even say to yourself. You've got to find ways of saying it to yourself that you would say to yourself. So if you don't want to say I am chosen, that feels weird and clunky to you, don't say it. Like only use things that you think will help you personally. Other than specifically targeting your old self-concept abandonment issues, did you do anything for your change relationship with money?
I would visualize always having money, and I would try not to look at my banking app, because that's 3D as well. So I wouldn't worry about things. If I needed something, I know I can get it. I mean, I got a big tattoo the other month that I've been wanting for 5 years, but I could never afford it.
Right.
But now I've gone and got it because I can afford it.
Right.
So it was just changing how I see money. Money isn't bad, or it doesn't flow away like water. It's always
so
there.
if you were checking before, you were kind of checking, how much have I got? It's probably not much. And the lack of checking shows that you just trust that it's there.
It's like, sometimes I do catch myself when I do check the banking app, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to cope? It's like, oh no, of course I'm going to cope. I always have money. So I flip it, and still thinking, right, I need this for that. I need that for this. And thinking of all the things I've got to pay for. It's like, it's already paid for. It's fine.
Right. That's a good thought to have. Exactly. Yes, I have a high unloved fear, so I now affirm I'm loved, cherished, adored, lovable. Everyone loves me already, and seen a huge difference. Yes. So when you first started, what do you think the affirmations were that really worked for you? Now that you probably don't even use them anymore, but what were the things that you think you were saying to yourself in the very start?
It was definitely like loved, worthy, wanted. That was a big one. Wanted.
That's a huge one if you've been in care.
Yeah, and prioritised as well. And I noticed I had that story because with my mum, she would always put TV in front of me. If I came down to make a drink, like even when my daughter was born and I came down to make her a bowl, she was watching TV, and she would always have a go at me if I disturbed her TV. So she'd always put like just anything but me first. Right. So then that would become part of it. But looking back, I actually made a screensaver full of affirmations, and there were so many that I just couldn't cope. So now I just stick to a few, and it's like even with SP affirmations, I will always turn it to self-concept. Like, of course he's thinking about me. I'm irreplaceable. And I love that more than just like, he's always thinking, he's drowning in thoughts of me and things like that. Because I used to say, no matter where he is, no matter what he's doing, he's always thinking about me. But that didn't sit right with me.
So you wanted to make it more self-concept based.
Yeah, because it's like I even manifested an SP from your Manifest New Love course, and he would like reverberate. He basically regurgitate everything within that. But then I just decided I didn't want him in the end, so I manifested a breakup.
I'm just trying to see what the other comments are, but every time I try and click it, it's not letting it refresh. Hang on, let me see if there's any more. Let's see if I can see them here. Wait a second. This bloody Facebook, I tell you. Hang on. Let me see if I can see any more here.
That just reminded me of time. It's like with my SP, we met up, and I'd been thinking about how the first time it was too soon for us to like even date. Right. And we were sat in my car, and he looked at me and went, do you think the first time we started dating it was too soon? And I'm like, and I actually couldn't say anything.
Right.
But then it's like when I went back, I actually messaged him. I went, what you were saying about being too soon, I agree. And it's like, wow. And he kind of floored me because he just completely...
when it's something that is negative that comes out their mouth and you thought it, you think, oh, shit. And then when it actually comes out their mouth, you think, Christ, okay, they are receiving all of this. So, guys, anyone who wasn't here for the thought transmission course, that's what we're talking about, when they will literally regurgitate it. And you're like...
I have that with colleagues as well, because I spend so much time at work. I will kind of not test them per se, but I'll think, oh, so-and-so is going to wear this kind of top, or so-and-so is going to say this. Sometimes I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking of something, and then someone will say, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm like, I was just thinking about that.
Right. And that's when you go, oh, must be a coincidence. Now we know better.
They coincidences aren't real.
What's this cat saying? Yes, because you knew affirmations are just a reinforcement, and that being in the state was what was working for you, changing the shitty thinking moment by moment. Yeah, so you're more now aware of the state you're in than every single thought moment to moment, aren't you? You would say.
Yeah. Right. And I was actually like saying earlier, it's like with my ex-husband, I unconsciously manifested him. And I didn't affirm for him because I didn't know about the law, but I didn't affirm. I just got into the state that I knew it was going to happen. And it did, obviously. And he was married. He was married with a baby. But that's my chosen, because I noticed with my chosen, I was drawn towards like gay men, married men, people that just wouldn't choose me, obviously. But but I still manifested him, even though, I mean, my SP even blocked me at one point. And I know how I consciously manifested that. But it's like, no, he's unblocked me because, he can't get enough of me. And then like 2 weeks later, he's unblocked and he's back in my DMs.
Oh, that's great. What about this? Yes, I did that yesterday too. I said the doctor will tell me it's an ear infection. He'll give me antibiotics, and he did just that. Exactly, guys. I put words in bloody doctors' mouths all the time. All the time. So there's only things I want to hear. With your car?
Because the other day I walked out and I had a nice little slash in my tyre. It hadn't pierced the tyre. But I'm like, oh gosh, and I took it to the garage and it's like, no, it was a hacksaw blade and it severed the cords, and they're like, no, you're going to have a new tyre. And I'm like, my car, the tyre's brand new, £185 each. And it's like, no, this is going to be less, it's under £100. Actually, let's make it under 80. And it turned out to be a brand new tyre for my car, £60 fitted. Win-win.
Amazing. God.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find the other questions here. Guys, if I've missed your question and it's not at the top, but I'm trying to really scroll to the top, put your question again, because some of them really aren't showing up. Did you do a combo of sleep tapes and visualizing? What did you do when triggered? So there's two questions here. What did you do when triggered? And also, did you do sleep tapes and visualizing? Because you're talking about sleep tapes and you're talking about visualizing.
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm triggered, even now, I practice pause. Even if I'm feeling angry or just something's happened, and I always take a step back and I just pause and I come back. And it's like, even like people around me know that if I go quiet, I'm processing it. Because usually beforehand, I would just go straight in, raging like a bull in a china shop. So I just step back, I just process everything, and I will affirm if I need to, or I would just put like an affirmation tape on, whether it's sleep tape or subliminal, and that's just how I do things now, and it's actually a lot better. As for sleep tape, I love sleep tapes, but it's like one of your new ones. My phone keeps turning off.
Really?
It is.
Which one?
Yeah.
Which one?
The let go and manifest, or it's something like that, and my phone doesn't like it. It keeps turning off, and I don't know why, because it's not at the core like belief. But it depends on how I'm feeling. I mean, I like the I'm the prize one. I prefer affirmation tapes that are for my self-concept rather than SP, although I do listen to the SP because there are good ones in there. It depends on how I'm feeling, what I think I need, like the abandonment or I don't do things wrong. That's another one I do.
I'm going to do a lot more of those. I don't do things wrong. I'm good enough. All the self-concept based ones, I promise. I really am. So
they're brilliant.
Did you find when you affirm for SP, you'd feel anxious?
I think it's situation dependent. Sometimes when I do affirm for SP, my mind's like, of course, know, when I'm thinking, oh yeah, he's always thinking about me, he can't, I'm irreplaceable, and but sometimes I do. But then if I do feel anxious, I ask myself why, because there's something underlying there as to why I feel like that.
And Krystal, you've been in the squad quite some time. What do you think, now knowing this and knowing yourself so well and practicing the pause and being able to work on not getting triggered in the moment and all that stuff, when you are now looking at the questions people ask on lives, or if you go in the Q&A forum, because I know you help people out a lot, what do you think are the big problems that people are having still that you're noticing that they're not aware of in here?
3D, time, and SP are the big three ones. Because I know the 3D is hard sometimes, but as it's like I've said before, you observe it, you don't absorb. You observe because it's the reflection. So you want to know what story is there, but you don't just get so engrossed that you spiral.
Right. So you just said then you want to know what story is there, meaning you're looking at the 3D circumstance that's presented itself to you because you manifested it, and then you go, what story must I be holding that this has happened? That's what Krystal's doing. She's not going, oh my God, look what's happened. She's going, what is happening here? What did I think for this to happen? Observe. Right? Where absorb is like getting absorbed by what's happening and getting triggered by what's happening, getting all absorbed in it, becoming one with it. Right? But if you're standing outside yourself or standing outside of the circumstance and observing, like an observer, you have a kind of, that's a kind of indifference or detachment you could feel to it. Like, how did I do that? Like a curiosity of like, how has this come up? And that's what a lot of people might call detachment, but it's really what Krystal just said. It's an observance. It's like, I'm standing outside of this, looking at what the story must have been for this to have happened. Right?
Yeah. It's like when my SP blocked thing, I knew how I'd made it, but I laughed because it's like, I'm so fucking powerful.
Right.
And it's like, I've had other things come up in my 3D that I know I've manifested that are like unfavorable, but it's out. It doesn't matter. You know, you move on, you carry on in the state of you've got what you want, no matter what it is.
Right. Do you see, guys, I keep saying right every time Krystal's saying something because I'm like, she's right about this. So then go into what you think people are doing in the squad about time, because you said time is also a thing that they keep being obsessed with.
I see a lot. It's like where they're like, oh, but it's been such and such months or this long, and I'm like, and it doesn't matter if you are in the state that you got it, that you have it now. Time is irrelevant because it's here now. So why are you focusing on time, kind of thing? Not to be like mean or anything like that, but that's what it comes down to. If it's here now, why does time matter?
So if it's here now, time is irrelevant to it because it's here. So
you got it now.
What Krystal's trying to explain to you guys, when you keep asking about it, you're not in the state that it's here. You can't be. You can't be the servant of two masters. You can't be waiting and also having. You can't be being and also becoming. Like, I'm sorry, you just can't. And so therefore, Krystal's trying to point out to you when she answers you in the squad, you are being two people, a person who is waiting and then trying to be a person who's having, but whilst waiting, you can't have. So you won't get, because you aren't having. Therefore, you will still be continually waiting. And the more you ask about the time, you stay in the waiting state. That's it. So you can't have your thing. Sorry.
I actually came across someone on TikTok the other day, and they're like, oh, but my circumstances are the worst. They're worse than anything. And I'm like, we create our circumstances. They still don't matter. And someone was like, actually said, oh, but I've been waiting 5 months. And I went, then you need to ask yourself why you're focusing on time. If you've got it now, why are you focusing on the time?
There are people who got someone back after 2 or 3 years, and people are worried about 5 months. Like, 5 months is nothing in the scheme of life. You know, it really isn't.
Yeah. It takes as long as it takes. And looking back, I'm glad that things happened how they did, because if it was instant, I would have, no, I'd rather it unfolded as it needed to.
And sometimes, darling, like you're saying, you needed the time to go away and do all that work on yourself and be the new you, because if they had come back straight away, or if it had happened straight away, you would still have old stories that would manifest a situation you didn't want again.
I actually had that first time my SP come back, and I noticed it, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake, I hadn't, because I slipped on my self-concept, and I started to feel like a bit anxious when he wouldn't text, and I'm like, no, this needs to stop. And obviously that did play out, but I knew at that time what had happened, so I could change it.
Right. Someone's written here, Loz, you must be so proud. This is why you do what you do. Yes, it is, Kylie. That's lovely. Listen, look, Krystal gets it. That's the thing. When Kat was putting this interview together, she said, Krystal really gets it. And I was like, I know she does.
Yep.
And
But
that's why you're
just
able to answer questions.
It's not just that, Loz. It's like you're teaching all of us how to do it, but then we're transferring. I tell my daughter about self-concept and manifestation, law of assumption.
Good.
So now she's like working on it, and she's always like, I know how that manifested, because it's like I saw something on TikTok and I showed her. She went, I know how she manifested that.
Really?
And I'm like,
how old is
and she actually told me she's 14.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so to transfer
14,
that,
my life would have been so different.
I know mine was horrible when I was 14.
Me too. I would love to have known all this, and I don't know if I ever could have accepted it at that age. I think I was so kind of like down on the world and stuff. If someone had said to me, "Oh, you've caused your reality," I'd be like, "Fuck off."
I was like,
I don't know if I could have heard it. Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? Why are you blaming me? Of course I didn't cause him to cheat and things like that. And I'm like, actually, yeah, that's why nearly everyone I've been with has like cheated, because the story.
Yeah. And it's amazing that she's that young and she's got it. Like that's a gift you've given her, Krystal.
Yeah, but I couldn't have given it to her without you. So I'm forever grateful to you.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, listen, my biggest like when I get really emotional is when people tell me about their children learning this stuff, or them reconciling with their parent they haven't spoken to in a long time, and all those things. Those stories are more special to me than anything, because that stuff's precious. Like, you can have another SP, you can have another parent, another daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's lovely. Oh, is there anything else, Krystal, you want to add before we go, or tell anybody, or advice you want to give?
Trying to think now.
Not to put you on the spot or anything. I'll just see if there's anything anyone's still asking.
I think there was a question I saw that.
Oh, you seen the questions too?
Yeah. Oh, Jess, did you ever have a social media break when you were manifesting? I didn't, but I did actually delete 2 social medias, and I've kept Facebook because of the squad, but I try not to go on social media so much, because you just get, like you said in the squad live before, you get all these toxic memes, and I just keep pressing not interested, not interested, not interested. And so you've got to be so careful. And this is what I've said to like other people, even the news, you've got to be careful what you absorb, what you read.
Shocking.
Because it will go in, even if it's not true. Your subconscious is always listening, and it will take that as fact.
Look, when the cat went missing, I went and joined a local group to put, like, because people were like, go and join this, group and I didn't really want to, and I felt like I was like confirming that she'd gone missing if I put a thing on this group. But I was like, so many people had said it, and I was like, it's been 2 days now, maybe I should. So when I'm still in this damn group, aren't I? And the amount of shit that comes up on this Facebook group, because now obviously Facebook, because all I'm doing is being in the squad and the free group, it thinks all I care about is groups. This person tried to break into my house. Have you seen this man? This person's lurking in the area. There's a dead possum on the ground. And it's like, and it's all the bad shit that's happening in this area. It's nothing good happening, apparently. There's people lurking around. There's people having fights. And you're like, fuck the area for me, this group. Like, I love this area before I joined this group. And now I'm like, huh, there's a scary man outside. I'm like, I have to leave this group. Like, because it comes up on my feed. I'm like, I'm not interested.
I've got some friends like that, actually. All they do is like whinge and whine and moan, and I shouldn't affirm that. But it's like I've kind of unfollowed them. But then it's like there's a few people where I see the patterns over and over in their relationships.
Oh my God.
And then they'll start with all the things about, you should have known what you'd lost, blah, 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 putting him in the blame. And I'm like,
oh
bitch,
no.
and
it's all over their social media talking about their ex. No, don't do it.
And how they're being watched. And I'm like, this is like the 5th guy now. The same thing's happened. It's the same shit, different person. Is that not kind of,
Yeah. An old friend of mine whose birthday this day, I was just about to write a happy birthday, and she used to write that shit, and I'll be like, I've seen your Facebook. Don't delete it. And she'd be like, but he deserves it. I was like, Kim, Jesus, you know, and I was like that 20 years ago, telling people like, stop that. What are you doing? You're going to regret this later on, you psycho. You know, like, oh, God. Jesus. Anyway,
It's like,
people used to come
even
up
on
to
my
me at
SP.
parties and say, Loz, you tell her what she's doing wrong. And I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to break your heart. And you're going to not like me by the end of this party. And at the end of the party, they go, you're a bit harsh. And I'm like, you told me to tell her. What do you want me to do? You fucking
Thing
told
is,
me.
though, you can, I mean, I've seen it. You tell people till you're blue in the face, but sometimes they have to learn themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like the same with me. You said the same things over and over and over again, but it's like usually I have my light bulb moments when I'm driving. And I'm like, that's what's going on. And that's what Loz means.
But the thing is, the amount of videos where I'm like, I have said this 100 times. And then someone will say in the comments, oh my God, I finally get it. You've been saying this for 4 years. I'm like, right. Well, you didn't comment when I said you are the only cause.
Yeah. It's like when things happen in my SP. When things have happened in my SP, because it's like when you come back, and it's like thinking about, you know, things just carried on like normal, like when you're talking to like a friend and it's late at night, so you fall asleep and then you carry on the message, like the talking next day. That's exactly how it's been. You know, I don't need an explanation from him. I don't need an apology from him. It just carries on like nothing's happened.
Right.
It's and it's like, even like it's so weird how it happens. But once you know this, you don't need that validation because you have it within you.
Yeah. Even if you've had a fight, you don't even need to have made up.
No,
Like
I just go within. It's like, yeah, he don't care.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I had an argument with someone the other day, and I was like, why are we even fighting? This is so fucking dumb. Like, and I was just like, and I just decided, well, that's finished with. We're not talking about that shit again. Because it was just so dumb. And I was like, how did I do this? Like, I just kept thinking, what the fuck was I thinking? And then I know the thing I was thinking was long standing. And I was just like, well, I can't get annoyed at this person because I've been thinking this a really long time. So I don't need an apology. And I got an apology, but I didn't need it. You know, like it didn't matter because I was just like, oh, well, what the fuck?
It's like, I've seen on like, I can't remember what social media, but it's like when you split up with someone and everything that you've asked them for, they've gone and done with the next person, like married and kids.
Yeah.
And it's like self-concept. That's why.
Right. And that's the thing. It's so sad when you see those stories and they go, oh, it must be, you know, all guys or something. It's like, not all guys.
No.
It's all you.
I usually just say, well, why are you attracting these kind of guys then? If they say, oh, all men are just cheaters, it's like, well, why are you attracting them?
Yeah.
Although sometimes I do get the whole.
And so,
but sometimes,
what do you?
Sorry,
what were you going to say?
I know, it's just like sometimes you need to say these things just to plant that mustard seed,
right,
in their mind.
Yeah, and get people thinking as well, because sometimes you can't spell it out for them, so they have to kind of figure it out for themselves, like you said. True, 5 months is a drop in the bucket. It takes 9 months to fully grow and birth a baby. Oh, we're talking about 5 months.
Yep.
You're trying to manifest an SP, yes. I love your progress and the new you. Well done, Hope said. Yes. I've lost a couple of friends. Actually. Yeah.
Oh no! People want to go on about time. Actually, I manifested something last year. I saw an old friend of mine, but when I'm out, I'm in my own little world. So I saw him, but I didn't see him. And by the time I realised, oh, it's so and so, I wound down my window, but he had gone. And I'm like, oh, actually, I'm going to manifest. He sends me a friend's request on Facebook. This guy doesn't do social media. 9 months later, he sent me a friend's request on Facebook. So it's like I completely forgotten about that, to be honest. And it's the same with my car MOT. I manifested my MOT would pass with flying colours. Now, my car's 22 years old. She always seems to have something. And then this past January, within 2 hours, passed with flying colours. But because of the state I was in beforehand, a few days later, I started having issues, which caused 2 minor accidents. Lucky enough, no one else was involved. And the alternator had actually failed because of the state that I was in. And obviously my car is power steering. And so, but I'm like, that's just magic, that is, really. I'm powerful.
Oh, amazing. I know I did that one time. I remember thinking, isn't it lovely that my cleaner knows how to clean? She never wrecks anything. Literally within an hour, she'd finished cleaning. And when I went upstairs, I discovered this big moldy part of the floor, under a mat had been molding the whole time. And I was like, of my wooden floor at my brand new house. I went, of course, it was my fault. I did it. It wasn't her. But I had
Just
had
like the
this thought,
modem.
isn't it great that she's done? Like, I'd never had that thought. And I was just like, oh, you idiot. You know what I mean? Like, it's just amazing. And then when the cat went missing, I had this paranoia about the battery of my Ring camera going flat. And I must, you know, always keep it, you know, charged. So, of course, when she went missing, did I have any camera footage when she went missing? No, because I didn't charge the battery. So I didn't know where she went. So it would have shown me exactly where she went, if she come back, what time. Because I had this thing, this story, like, that battery is very important. One day you might miss something really important.
Yeah,
fucking hell.
I've done that. I've said things like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if blah, 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 and then it's manifesting. And I'm like, why did I do that?
Oh, no, it's so bad. Oh, my God. Thanks, Loz. Thanks to you. You have upgraded all our lives. Oh, thank you, Eileen. That's lovely. This interview has been so enlightening. You're a beautiful person, Krystal. Thank you for sharing yourself with the squad. Yay! Oh, Krystal, we're so happy to have you here, and you're such a great help to everyone, honestly, darling, all the time.
Thank you. I've actually manifested this live, just to
Have
say.
you?
When you did, was it Holly and Hal? I actually visualised myself on screen with you, and it's like, I'm going to go live with Loz. And I think this was like last year or something. And obviously a year later, hello.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh, Kat's written, this is such a great live. Congratulations on all your success, Krystal. It's been so wonderful to have witnessed you, all your wins over the past couple of years. Thank you for doing this and for sharing your story. This will be so helpful for the squaddies. Yes, Kat.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Krystal, darling. We so appreciate you, and we appreciate all the help. What was that?
It's just so nice to actually, I know you're more involved in the group and you see these things, but to actually talk to you and just say how much you've completely changed my life. And it's like, literally, there's no words. I absolutely adore you.
Oh, thanks, Krystal, darling. Well, this is why I do what I do. And sometimes, every now and again in the office, like today, we've got the launch of, you know, the Manifest Contact Challenge on Monday, and all my staff are on holidays. And we didn't realize it was a public holiday. And every now and again, I'll be like, I hate my life, you know, because I'm just like, they're giving me this like list of shit that I had to like post on TikTok. And you got to post it this hour. And then this TikTok's number 2 and this number 3. And then on Instagram, you've got to put this story. And then you've got to post this thing on YouTube. And this YouTube isn't ready yet. And you've got to, and I was just like, and I sent it to someone. I said, I wanted to fucking shoot myself. Like, how have I got myself in this? But I've got to I forget when all that happens that I'm like, hang on, these are the moments where this was worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I forget that sometimes. I get so caught up in the day-to-day of the work of this and the staff and the running of the squad and all that stuff that these are the moments I forget are happening behind the scenes, you know, and the stories that are happening behind the scenes. And it's not until like, and honestly, and you know what happens sometimes? My operations manager, who's like my PA, but she's also my operations manager, she took over the email. And when she first started, she'd be like, Lois, this lovely emails come through. You've changed her life, this girl. And I went, oh, that's nice. Do you want me to send it to you? I'd be like, yeah, you can send it to me. And then she's like, oh, there's another one. And then she'd be like, and now she's like, every week, she said, do you want me to send you these? I'm like, yeah, you can. But now she's realized there's so many in the inbox that she was like excited at first that like they were in the inbox. I'm like, I tell you that they're in. Thank you for sending. I'll see them, but I don't have time to reply. You know, like, so I read them, guys. I promise I read them. I just don't have time to reply to them. But it's not that I don't care. It's just I forget that this is what this is about. Like, I forget sometimes. It's like so blasé when someone writes, oh, you've changed my life. I'm like, that's nice. But then I'm like, oh, no, that's fucking great. You know?
That's the thing with movement as well. I mean, behind the scenes, we don't know what's going on behind in Loz quarters, but it's all movement, you know, all to make these things happen. And I've actually said with movement is even internal when you shift your states as well. It's not all just external, like SP or say the job or anything like that. Movement can be anything.
Exactly. And a lot of people are only ever looking for external movement, aren't they?
For that validation.
You'll see all the time in here.
Instead of listening to in here, the gut instinct or the intuition, as people say.
Kat's written, I'll be working, Loz. Let me help you. I'll be there if you need it. Kat's right. That's right. Kat's working on Monday. So Kat's in Queensland, so she doesn't have a holiday. But all of my West Australians, I've got bloody holidays. Yes, Kat, I might need you. I might message you, darling. Don't worry. Kat's always great help. All right, Krystal, thank you so much, darling. And Kat, thank you for organising this with Krystal as well.
Yeah.
And guys, if you have any more questions, I'm sure Krystal might be happy to answer them. Just maybe if you under this, if you missed the live, maybe if Krystal comes back, because I know Krystal's always active in the squad. If you have time, Krystal, there might be a few that pop up when people watch the replay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Might be.
I'll have a look, and also I'll check Q&A as well, just in case.
Yeah, yeah. But guys, watch out for Krystal's answers. They're always crystal clear. She's always very good at answering your questions, okay? And she really understands this. So if you see Krystal's name pop up and she's answered you, make sure you listen to her, because she really gets this. All right, guys?
Thank you.
All right, darling. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you mind if we put this on YouTube later? We're not going to put it on for a while, but we'll keep it in the squad for a while. Do you mind?
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have to.
that's fine.
You sure?
I don't mind. Put it wherever. I don't mind.
All right, darling. Okay, thank you so much, darling, and thanks for joining us. And guys, if you do have extra questions for Krystal under the replay, do ask them. All right, guys. Thanks, Krystal.
Thank you.
Bye, darling. Bye. Guys, don't forget, you've only got tomorrow for the success case files. This is part of that. You've got probably maybe a week. We'll keep Krystal's success story in here for you to watch. You can watch it back later on YouTube in a couple of weeks' time. All right, guys, we'll see you then. And thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.